channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you a bombshell makeup look, and I am so obsessed with it. I worked on it late last year and I've just like perfected it now to the point that I always surprise myself whenever I complete this look. Like, look at this face, it is stunning. And so I'm going to be walking you through each step, every product used, every shade, every brush, because I know you guys really love the details, and so I took my time to walk you through each step and just everything that just makes this look powerful. A bombshell makeup look is everything, and this is my 2025 go-to look that I'm so obsessed with, and I'm just like I'm in love. So let's get straight into it. Starting off with a fresh face, I'm going in with my Fenty Skin Lip Mask. I love this mask because it's super moisturizing, and I always just want to make sure I prep my lips before I start my makeup look. As usual, I am going in with my faves. That's the Fenty Skin Fat Water and the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. This is how I prep my skin. I just absolutely love it. It just works well for me and my makeup routine. I like to go in with something super moisturizing and wet for my base, and then I'll go in with a thick moisturizing cream like this Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, and just look at how fresh and revived my skin is. Super supple, super moisturized. I just absolutely love it. So now that my skin prep is done, I can actually move into my makeup routine. So I'm going in with these two primers. This is the CoverGirl Skin Enhancer Primer. I like to start with the Sticky Grip. It's super moisturizing, and these are all products that work on my oily, acne prone skin. So I absolutely love it because it just really helps me control my oils as well as not breaking out. I think that's so important to me. So this primer, I like to put it all over, and then I can go in with the Velvet Blur, and I will focus more on my T-zone and wherever I have like texture or a breakout. For me, the center of my face is the most important with this blurring primer. Going in with my Refi Brow Sculpt. I like to go in with this clear brow gel just so my brows can be set in place, and it's perfect to use it now just because I have no foundation and I don't have to get my brow gel all mixed up into the foundation. So I like to comb it into the shape of what I want to fill in, and then I'll go in with a wet wipe or a wet cotton pad, and I'll just clean around my brow. That's just to remove the gel. If not, you're gonna have that white cast around your brows. For my foundation, I'm going in with the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. This is in the shade 7.5N. I absolutely love this one. This is one of my favorites. I'm running out, as you guys can hear. I really love it. It just gives a very natural glow to the skin, and the coverage is beautiful. Oh, look at that. It is incredible. You guys have seen most of my more natural makeup looks that are beginner friendly. For this one, I want us to use a bit more product. Going in with my Sigma Flat Kabuki brush. This is the F80 Air brush. I like to use a good amount of foundation, especially when I'm creating these looks that are more glam and not as beginner friendly in terms of consistency. So when I'm using a lot of foundation, this is just to make sure my base is perfect. If you're a beginner, I usually recommend using less product because at that stage you are learning how to blend. But if you're getting better at your makeup, or if you want to challenge yourself, definitely try using a bit more foundation just so you can intensify that coverage and also help your base look even more glam than usual. So I like to use a good amount of foundation. Whatever's left on the brush, I will take it down my neck, and I am blending in this foundation without going over my brows. I like using a flat kabuki brush. It's just one of my favorite brushes to use when blending out my foundation. I feel like I get a nice coverage. Oh, look at that, guys. incredible. I am in love. And Sephora collection best skin ever concealer in the shade 59N. I am going to use this to highlight. I'm just applying it over here and here. I like to start off with a concealer that is somewhat closer to my skin tone while also still being lighter. While that dries down, I'm going in with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and this is in the shade Sable, and I'm gonna use it on areas where I just want a bit more coverage. I like going in with a full coverage foundation, but then I'm still gonna top up certain areas that I have maybe a dark spot or a bit more texture with concealer to really help with that coverage in that exact area. And so taking my foundation brush, I'm just going to tap it into those areas. This concealer is actually my skin tone, so it just blends in beautifully with my foundation, and it just helps give my skin that extra coverage that I need. So moving on to contour, I'm going in with my Danessa Myricks contour balm. I absolutely love this one. I'll be using my Zoeva Luxe Paint brush. I really like this brush because it's flat, as you guys can see, so it really helps with creating that straight line that I need when I am contouring. And so I like to use it to just create sort of the softer transition into my darker contour shade. So I really like this contour balm from Danessa Myricks because it really helps me create such a natural contour without it being too harsh on the face. And this is in the shade Deep 2. So all I'm doing is going over my contour points with this contour balm, even my nose, into my brows. And now I can go in with my Fenty Beauty matchstick in the shade Caviar. Oh, look at that color. It's so dark, so I really like to use this for the contour, and I'm just going into the perimeters of my face to really define my contour points. And then I'll put some at the back of my hand for my nose. Going back in with that Zoeva brush, I'm just going to blend my Fenty Beauty contour into my hairline as well. And when it comes to my cheekbones, I really like to keep the contour in the higher point, so I'm not dragging it down. I'm also taking it up this way when I'm blending. So I actually like to place my contour a bit higher because by the time I blend, it might shift down just a bit. So it's just like the perfect way for me to still control my contour being as high as I like. And because this is a bombshell makeup look, we really want to make sure everything is perfect and fits our face shape as well, because it's here to just take it to the next level. Really love this brush. It just makes contouring so much easier. Oh, I'm so in love with this base. I am going in with my Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Concealer. This is in the shade D31. I like to use it to chisel out that contour. This is a great way to clean up your contour, especially if, let's say, you shifted down too much or it's a bit messy and you want to clean it up a bit. Just using a perfect concealer that is closer to your skin shade, if you like, or something a bit lighter, is perfect. So I'm going in with my foundation brush that we used earlier, and I like to use my foundation brush because it will have a bit of that foundation on it, so it's going to help with just blending it out a bit easier. This shade is lighter than my foundation, but that's okay because that's how I like this particular concealer to be. So it's not as light as this under eye concealer, but it's light enough to make sure my contour is prominent and just like bold. Going in with my Sigma Soft Blend concealer brush, I really like this dome shape that it has. It's just perfect for me when it comes to blending out my concealer. I've actually been obsessed with using a beauty blender to do this, but today I reached for my brush. So this is how flawless it looks. Just leaving that concealer to dry down really just helps with controlling how far and wide the concealer goes, and it actually makes blending a lot easier. I like to go in with a brush, or I'll go in with my beauty blender. This is me just blending everything out. And so I'm gonna go in with a damp beauty blender. I'm gonna use this flat side of my beauty blender, and I'm just going to tap, because I just want to make sure everything blends into each other. And so I'm just going in with my beauty blender to remove any harsh lines. So where everything meets, the contour, the highlights, it all just blends in, and there are also no streaks on my face. Going in with my lighter concealer. This one is the Sephora Collection Best Skin Ever Concealer in the shade 55N. So earlier we had used 59N, and now I'm going in with 55N because I really want to brighten this inner part of my eyes. While that dries down, I'm just going in to finish up the contour for my nose. So I'm using that Fenty Beauty matchstick, and this brush is from Sephora Collection. This is their concealer brush. My brush collection is just a mixture of old and new and random brushes that I have. I just use whatever works for me. I'm gonna go back in with my beauty blender, and I'm gonna use a clean side, and this is the side I would usually use to blend out my concealer. And so I'm just going in to just blend this out a bit more, and I just want to keep in the center portion of my face. How beautiful is my base right now? I'm so in love. So I'm gonna go in with my Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder, and this is in the shade Medium Deep. And I'll be using this Laura Mercier blush brush. I love using brushes that help me achieve what I need. So I like this brush because it just packs on my powder the exact way I like. It doesn't take too much, and so that's why I like using a blush brush to just set my under eye. So you can use a brush however you like, as long as you know how to use it. Using this brush just gives me control in the way other brushes sometimes doesn't. So when I'm using this powder, I like to work it in, dust it off, work it at the back of my hand, and then I will set. And by setting, I like to press it in and keep that product in place. So I really like to work in my powders. I like to use two powders to set my under eye concealer. So I'm going to be using this one size powder. This is the Ultimate Setting Powder. I'll be using the Kaleidos highlighter brush. This is the H2 brush. So I like to pack in the powder, dust off any excess, and then just tap it into my under eye concealer. This is just how I brighten up this under eye concealer, and I'll use it wherever I placed my highlighter concealer. Moving on to my brows. So while my under eye is just like setting itself in place, I will move on to my brows. I'm using my Westman Atelier brow defining pencil. I absolutely love it. It's just so thick, and I just love that. Like, look at that. This is in the shade Slate, and to fill in my brows, I like to draw a line at the bottom to create the shape, and a line at the top as well, and wing it out, and then I'll fill it in. And this is just following my brow shape, and I love that this comes with a spoolie, so then I can take it and brush in brows just to make sure that product is worked in nicely. It also just helps the brows look even more natural. Going in with my Pat McGrath concealer, I'll be using this Sigma F70 concealer brush, and I like to just work it into that concealer and then use it to really clean up that brow. If you're like me, sometimes you make mistakes, and so this just helps clean it up some more and actually define the brow. You can use a concealer that's lighter, you can use a concealer that's exact shade, you can use a concealer, you can even use a foundation. It just depends on what you like. Today I chose something a bit lighter. I'm just gonna blend that with my finger, just the edge where that concealer meets my eyeballs. Once I'm done with my brows, I'm going in with the Sigma Soft Blend 60 brush, and I just like it because it's fluffy and it's dome shaped, because I can go in here and just dust off any of that one size powder that might be remaining. Using this Repair brush, 05 brush, and I just like it because it's dome shaped and it's a bit stiffer. So going into that Laura Mercier loose translucent powder, I am just going to tap in to my face. When it comes to setting my entire face, I will tap in that powder. So I'm setting my foundation with the powder, and so I'm just tapping that powder on top of the foundation just because I want to control the coverage. I don't want anything to move, so I'm just tapping to set everything in, and then I can go in and sweep. For my eyeshadow, I'm just going to go back in with some powder to set my eyes. I'll be using one of my favorite palettes. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes eyeshadow palette. I really love this palette because it's very beginner friendly, and because it's all neutrals, you can play around and create so many looks. So I definitely recommend it if you're looking for something that's more everyday friendly and also special occasion. It works. Using my Sigma E35 brush, this is a eyeshadow brush and it just has a flat top. I'm gonna go in with this gorgeous brown shade over here, and all I'm doing is popping it all over my lid, into my crease and towards my brows, and then bringing it out over here. Taking my Zoeva contour shader brush, this is a 235 brush. I really like it because it has a slant to it. I can go into this darker brown shade and create a very soft wing over here. Because this brush is already slanted, it creates like the perfect angled look. Taking this black, I'm gonna work it into the back of my hand so it's not harsh. And then I'm gonna add it into this wing over here. This is just to deepen that wing, to make it even more dramatic. I am obsessed with the eyes, so I'm gonna go in with that Pat McGrath concealer. It's very much optional. You could use a concealer for this, or you could use some powder, but I'm just gonna go into my eyes using this concealer, and what I want to do is just clean it up and really sharpen it out. And using this concealer will help you create a more dramatic look. And if you're a bit messy, it's a great way to just clean things up a bit. And you want to use a concealer that matches that under eye concealer, so something that is still light. I'm just using my fingers to just blend out the edge. Going in with my eye shading brush, this is from Sigma, this is the E55 brush. I'm just going to go into that dark shade and just blend out the corner on top, just to remove any streaks, to make sure it blends in nicely. Going in with this lighter shade, I'm using that E55 eye shading brush. It has a flat head, and I'm just going to place it over my entire eyelid and then just work it into the mobile lid. This is below my crease, and this is just to brighten up the eyes and bring some more dimension to it. Going in with some mascara. This is the Lancome Hypnose Drama mascara. I really like this. I love the wand. It really gets into my eyes and it's just so beautiful. Don't forget your bottom lash line. I am so in love. I do want to bring out my eyes just a bit, so I'm going in with my MAC eyeliner. This is the Eye Kohl in the shade Smolder, and I'm just gonna use it on my bottom lash line. This will just bring some attention to our eyes even more. Ooh, love that. For my blush, I am going in with this One Size Cheek Clapper palette. This is in Gorly Pop. Oh my goodness, look at how gorgeous that is. And I'll be using this shade over here. This is shade Pick Me. Working in that brush. This is the Zoeva Luxe Cheek Finish brush 126. I just like the shape of it. I have to keep it on the higher points of my cheeks, and then I'll bring it just a bit to the apples. but everything kind of stays to the side. Using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Seeker highlighter in Enchanted. I like to take this Sigma small tapered blending brush. I love its shape, and so I'll just work it in. Work it at the back of my hand, and then I will place it at the high points of my cheekbones. On the tip of my nose, bridge my nose. Cupid's bow. For my lips, I'm going in with my Artist Color pencil in Dimensional Dark Brown. I like to outline my lips. Because we put some lip balm when we started our makeup, my lips are so soft, and this is gliding on so beautifully. MAC Powder Kiss lipstick in Mull It Over. I just want to use this as the center shade, a gorgeous pink peachy shade. Going in with my NARS Afterglow lip oil, and this is in the shade Orgasm 777. Oh, my lips look so good right now. So I'm just gonna add this to the top. Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Setting Spray. That is an absolute fave. Another fave is the Morphe Continuous Prep and Set Mist. Absolutely love it. Whew. While everything dries down, I'm going in with my Huda Beauty Faux Mink lashes. As you guys can see, I've already used them, so you can definitely reuse your lashes. I reuse my lashes all the time. I've popped on my glue, and now I'm just going to place it. Once you're done, make sure to press the fake ones to your real ones. So we are almost done. I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. This is in the shade 3. And I'll be going in with that Sigma Soft Blend 60 brush, the one that we used to dust off our baking powder. And I'm just going to make sure to load that brush with this powder. This is the step that I don't want you guys to be shy. I love using a setting powder after I've set with some setting spray. It just really sets in the look. Like, look at that. I am obsessed. And then going in with the shade 4, I'm just gonna go all over my entire face and down my neck. And then going in with this Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder for under eyes. This is in the shade 1. This one, oh my gosh. Work it in, tap it into the back of my hand, and then come in here and place it, and just make sure to tap it in. And this is the final look. I am so obsessed with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found it super helpful. If it was, comment down below, let me know. It helps me so much to know that you guys find it super helpful. I am just so obsessed with this look right now. It's very much bombshell, it's very much extra, and it very much will take your time. Like, I love it. I love makeup, so I'm just obsessed with a makeup tutorial, because whenever I do my makeup, I feel incredible, and the slay it is, the better I feel. So I just really love this sort of looks. Going all in with my makeup looks, it's everything. Like, this is divine, this is edible, this is everything that I need in my 2025 makeup looks coming forward, and I'm just so much obsessed. Everything that I used is down in the caption below: shades, product, brushes. I know you guys wanted that as well, so I did make sure to include all of that in here for you guys. And yeah, I'm obsessed. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.